Hey folks, welcome back. Today's track is a corker. It is I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. Now I'm fully aware that for a lot of people this song was made famous by Whitney Houston. We're going to focus on the Dolly Parton version for the most part, but if you stick around for the extra jazz at the end, I'm going to do that key change and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of ways that we can deal with key changes in music. So let's do it. Okay, everyone's favourite bit. This song is in A. So let's find those notes. It's A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So it's the same shape twice. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. And then our last step on a major scale is always a half step, okay? Now, those notes are going to be the palette for every single one of the chords in this piece. And when we get to the end and we talk about bass lines a little, they're going to become even more handy. Okay, so try and get used to those. Our introduction starts kinda on an A chord. We're going to take it there. So our root position A would be A, skip one, play C sharp, skip one, play E. That's our A major root position. We are going to invert it and put the E from the top down bottom. Start there. Now, to really get the essence of the Dolly Parton version, what we're going to do here is we're going to have what we call a pickup. And this is where we start just before beat 1. In this case, it's on like the 4 of the kind of imaginary previous measure. So we think 1, 2, 3. Okay, now what I've done there is before playing our A, I've played a D chord. And if you think about our D here, D, skip one, play one, F sharp, skip one, play one, A, and then invert this, put the D on the top, it gives us a D chord there. And that enables us, if we play the D like this, to kind of pivot between D and A. Okay, keep our middle finger, or our second finger in this case, on the middle note, and we just go up with both other fingers, and then back down with both other fingers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, that's our first like 2 and a bit measures. After that, after we've done the second time, we're going to go to F sharp minor. F sharp minor, couldn't be simpler. F sharp, and then we're just going to keep the A in the C sharp. A, C sharp. And then after that, we're going to go to our D chord. F sharp minor to D. We're going to be using these again later, so watch out. F sharp minor to D, F sharp, A, C sharp. We want D, F sharp, A. So again, C sharp, back to that D chord we just played a minute ago. Okay. Now, our other chord that we're going to use is E. We're not just going to step up like that. We're actually going to take our E down here in root position, because shifting up which version of the chord we use tends to sound a little better. We don't always change it up, but sometimes we do. So, and then just right at the very end, as I pick up again, and that is our introduction. So let's try that all the way through. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, timing's a little funky, but as long as you know the track, you're going to be fine. For the verse, simple chord sequence, twice round. So we finished here. We started here. F sharp minor. We did that one earlier. So same change. Now for the verse, we're going to have this really like falling down thing. I will only get in your way. And that's from an F sharp, E to D, right? So what we're going to do to keep that interesting, we'll do F sharp, and we will step down to E in root position, back to D, and back to E. All the chords that we just used, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Thumb comes up to F sharp. Step everything down to our evenly spaced E, G sharp, B, and then up to our D, D, F sharp, A, and then back to E. Should stay. Do that twice. That's your verses. Okay, so now we get to the famous bit of the song. So we'll have finished on our E chord here. Now we want to brighten the chorus a little bit, so what we'll do is we're just going to take our A up here and make it just a little bit higher to, you know, lift it up for the chorus. And we're going to go from an A down to an F sharp minor, A, C sharp, F sharp, invert that up to there, into that change, and then we're going to go down to a D, which is D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, so simple change again from C sharp there, to lovely changes these, and then our last chord is an E. Again, we're not going to step up, we're actually going to take E in a slightly lower position. Okay, so think about E in root position, E, G sharp, B. We're just going to put the E on the top, G sharp, B. Okay, and that's that really famous. Started quite high there. Pinky goes up to F sharp, middle finger to D. Drop down to our E. Okay, and that's the whole chorus. To finish that off, we will go up to D, back down to E. It's your little break that takes you back into bittersweet, etc., etc. Okay, so on the structure, again thinking about the Dolly Parton version first, couldn't be simpler. We have our intro, and then we have a verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Verse 3 is like the spoken word verse, and then we have another chorus. And then all we need to do, firstly, is end it like Dolly. So to end it like Dolly, we just have like 150% of a chorus. Okay, so we've gone. Instead of stopping there, we just go round those chords one more time. And that's the ending. All we did there was take that A, D, A, that we were using as our link section before, and just used it to end very nicely on that plagal cadence. Okay, so before we get on to ending it like Whitney and that key change, I want to talk to you a little bit about how we can jazz up the the chord changes in the verse and the chorus. So first thing, let's take our initial verse kind of chord sequence. So we've got those two quite long measures of A. And actually, you remember the pickup we did with the D? Well, in the verse, we can do the same thing, but with an E. Yeah, we're just going to contract from the A down to the E and back up to the A. Okay, that happens on a couple of occasions, not all of them, but you know, you can kind of throw them in where you think they sound nice. we can actually take that move one step further and start to introduce a kind of walking bass line. Okay, so let's imagine we've done that. Now, instead of just jumping down to there, we could walk down. So the first thing, the walking bass line section, is an A, G sharp and F sharp. Also, they could be called passing notes because we're literally passing through them. Important thing is that almost always we're going to stay using that scale that we learnt right at the beginning. And if we want to be really smart about this, we can bring that E. No, we're not going to do that there. If I walk and use the E. So our walking bass line can continue into the chorus. All we're doing there is just again following that scale down. We've got one note in between all of those first three chords, so we're just going to use it, walk through it. Okay? Have a go at that, and now let's talk about Whitney Houston. So, the big difference between these two tracks is that we have this massive key change at the end of the Whitney Houston version. And now, there are two ways in which we can deal with key changes in music. The first one, the kind of classical method, or the jazz method, the official method, let's call it that, is to think about each chord in terms of a number, right? So A becomes 1, your B minor chord becomes 2, your C sharp minor chord becomes 3, and etc., etc., etc. Right? Now, so that makes our A chord 1, our F sharp minor chord is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our D chord is 4 and 5. So we could take our new key, which happens to be B, and transplant all of those numbers 1, 6, 4, 5 into B, which is all well and good if you already know what all of those chords are, right? But there is another way, and it can work, can be easier, especially if in this case we're actually just going up by one note. The last chorus of Whitney Houston's version is in B, which means that A becomes B, F sharp minor becomes G sharp minor, and where were we? D becomes E, right? And E becomes F sharp. They all go up by 2 half steps, right? And you can just take your hand and move everything up one note. Okay, to give you that ending. So think about this. You've played like, we're in. Have a go at that, finish it like Dolly, finish it like Whitney, do as you will. See you next time.